Good morning once again. This is Hardin County Commissioners Court. All the members of the court are present. It's time for our regular meeting. We're starting just a little bit late because we went over during our workshop, so it's 10:05 a.m. Monday, July 24th. All members of the court are present and the meeting is called to order. Everyone will please rise for the invocation by Commissioner Roberts, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for all the many blessings you have given us. Watch over us, guide us, direct us as we go about the business of this county. Forgive us where we failed thee. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner. Item number 3, Glenda Austin, County Clerk, request approval of the July 10th, 2017 regular meeting minutes as presented. And we have Connie Beckman sitting in this morning for the clerk. Are there any corrections to be made to the minutes? So moved. Have a motion by Commissioner Roberts and a second by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 4, Deborah McWilliams, County Treasurer, requests the court to cancel all registered claims from the July 10th, 2017 regular meeting as presented. Good morning.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Roberts. Any discussion?
I say the
You may.
liability on that was
Yes, ma'am.
$1,483,136.97.
Thank you very much. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 5, Deborah McWilliams, request approval of cash statement as presented.
In our general checking account, we have $674,175.11. In our investment account at Wells Fargo, we have $2,041,996.30. In our tax pool account, we have $9,540,359.65 for a total cash funds of $12,256,531.06.
Move to approve. Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall and a second by Commissioner Roberts. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. McWilliams. Item number 6, Angela Gore, County Auditor, request approval to pay county bills as presented. Good morning, Ms. Gore.
Good morning. The pre-approved expenditures for July 11th through the 14th were $280,517.80. Pre-approved expenditures for July the 17th through the 21st were $421,584.39. And today, July the 24th, the expenditures for Commissioners Court are $314,550.27. The total expenditures and transfers for the period of July the 11th through the 24th are $1,016,652.46. The gross payroll for July the 20th was $421,238.08, and the total transfers for that payroll was $509,061.18.
Move pay the bills as presented.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Pelt and a second by Commissioner Roberts. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 7, discussion and possible action to accept the resignation of Timothy Moody as Constable Precinct 6 and approval to post the notice of vacancy. We have a letter from the constable asking that the court, or he's submitting his resignation effective July 31st, 2017. And I move that we accept the resignation from the constable.
Second.
Have a motion by the chair and a second by Commissioner, was it Roberts? Pelt. Second by Commissioner Pelt. Any discussion? Just one more add. I've got another item in there that goes with the resignation is to post that vacancy. I would just like for you to look at it. You don't have to let me know right now, but before we finish, if there's any corrections that you'd like to see made to the vacancy, let me know. If not, we'll ask Debbie to post that. And we'll take letters of interest, applications, or resumes through 5 p.m. this Friday, July the 28th. And that's part of my motion. Is that okay, Mr. Pelt?
That's okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 8, acceptance of the following Hardin County Emergency Services District audited financial statements for the year ending December 31st, 2016, and that's for ESD 1, ESD 3, ESD 5, and ESD 6. Angela, have you reviewed all of these?
I have,
And they're in good order?
yes, sir.
Move we accept.
Have a motion by Commissioner Pelt and a second by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 9 is Sheriff Mark Davis, authorization for county judge to sign the interlocal contract with Southeast Texas Regional Planning Commission relating to the planning, development, operation, and provision of 911 services and the use of 911 funds.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Roberts. And the only change to this interlocal contract is the term. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 10, Teresa Wigley, Emergency Management Coordinator, authorization for county judge to sign interlocal agreement with Southeast Texas Regional Planning Commission to utilize Swift Reach 911 emergency notification system.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Roberts and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. And this is going to be a change, Teresa, from the Blackboard Connect that we're using now over to this Swift Reach.
Yes, sir, and it's no cost to the county, it's through a court security grant to the planning commission.
Which is the most important part.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 11, Dana Hogg, District Clerk, setting a public hearing to consider a plan for District Clerk's Technology Fund for the preservation and restoration of District Clerk's records. Is Ms. Hogg in here?
Yes.
We already have a special meeting next Monday at 9 o'clock. Would you like to add that item to the agenda? Or would you like to have a separate public hearing for that?
Will that allow enough time for the newspaper?
It may not, so do you want to set it for a future date?
Yes, sir.
What date would you like? We have a regular meeting August the 14th, and we could have that public hearing that morning before the regular meeting.
Okay.
Is 30 minutes enough time?
Oh, yes, this is already established, it's just my yearly thing that we have to do.
Is 15 minutes enough time? We could set it at 9:45 before our next regular meeting on August the 14th. Is that okay with the court?
Aye.
So we'll set that at 9:45 a.m., August the 14th. Item number, sir,
Do we need to, is
I
that
don't
a
know.
motion?
let's do it. I've moved that we set that meeting at 9:45 a.m., August the 14th.
Second.
Have a motion by the chair and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 12, Shirley Cook, Tax Assessor Collector. Discussion and possible action regarding a refund exceeding the $500 limit on account number 000-138-000-124, 53169/138231. Good morning.
Good morning. Judge, the appraisal district has the lead in this account for the 3 years, and with it being over the $500 by law, I need you to, I ask the court to approve it.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Pelt. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 13, Shirley Cook, presentation of list of lands and lots delinquent on June 31st, 2017 for taxes of 2016 in Hardin County, and requesting the court to execute the certificate of Commissioners Court for credit for the 2016 delinquent taxes shown thereon.
Judge, this is the report that I gave you on the list of lands and lots, and we talked about, that's what the disc is for.
Yes, ma'am.
It gives you the 2,535 pages on the disc that we gave. 2,535 pages.
And she saved a lot of money by putting it
She
on
sure
this rather
did.
than printing it all out.
So moved.
Second.
Can I make a statement real quick? Do we have that revised sheet that you have in your hand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have it? Okay. Do y'all wanna look at that before we,
It's in your packet.
Is this it?
It's in your packet.
This one right here?
might be, it's just smaller than,
Yeah, I looked at it. Do
Okay.
they see it?
I didn't know tax.
all right.
That's all, tax receiving government entities on there, correct?
Everybody that she
Yes, sir.
collects for, yes, sir.
Everyone that we have contracts with collect for.
All right, so the motion was made by Commissioner Cooper and seconded by
Me.
Commissioner Pelt. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 14, Amanda Young, Floodplain Administrator. Discussion and possible action to approve and accept the Oak Ridge Park subdivision into the county road and bridge maintenance system in precinct 4. Amanda, good morning. Ms. Young, I'm sorry.
This is going off of an acceptance letter from Fitz and Shipman.
This is the end of the warranty period, and we're just asking to, accept it into the county road and maintenance system.
Thank you, Ms. Young, and everybody has the letter that she's referencing to from Fitz and Shipman. Commissioner Roberts, this is in your precinct.
So moved, we'll accept it.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Roberts and a second by Commissioner Pelt. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 15, Amanda Young, discussion and possible action regarding a refund of remaining 10% cash bond in the amount of $4,730 held for Oak Ridge Park subdivision.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Roberts and a second by Commissioner Pelt. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 16, Amanda Young, discussion and possible action to authorize the county judge to sign a renewal lease agreement of buyout property located at 154 Rolling Hills Drive in Precinct 4 for another 5-year term.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Roberts and a second by Commissioner Pelt. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 17, Debbie Mendesabel, Human Resources Director, discussion and possible action to set the 2018 TCDRS retirement rate. One thing I failed to mention during the budget workshop is the salaries were all calculated based on a 14.5% retirement rate, and that includes the supplemental death rate as part of that 14.5. Remind me again what our minimum was it 14.37?
Yes.
And so we did increase that a little bit to the 14.5. To increase that any more, I know Commissioner Kirkendall wanted to see what a 15% increase would do. And could you just tell us right off your worksheet there what that amount would have been had we gone that amount, that route?
Just one.
Or if we do decide to go that route.
Okay. 15%, monthly increase, $5,432.52, which would mean a yearly increase of $65,190.22. That's without the increase in wages, I'm sorry. With the increase in wages, it would be close at $68,256.63.
And how much was the increase from the 14.37 to the 14.5 for the annual? What was that increase
Okay.
amount?
14.37 was $4,075.02. 14.5, $17,318.85. 15%, $68,256.63.
What was the middle one?
The middle one, 14.5, $17,318.85.
And that is included in the proposed budget.
Yes, I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong number earlier, I'm sorry.
Okay. So now, if you could go ahead and talk about the TCDRS retirement plan.
Okay. In your package, you will see that I went into the TCDRS employer website, and with the last time that, we're talking about the retirees' cost of living, if we take that into account this year, the last time there was a COLA, it was back in 2012, it was a 50% CPI based on the Consumer Pricing Index. I went into the plan customizer on the website, like I said, and I gave you different scenarios. For a 50% CPI, it would cost the county $954,728. A 30% CPI would be $313,959. A 20% CPI would be $174,583. And with a CPI, I also put a sheet in there explaining the difference between a CPI and a flat rate. One moment. There's two types of COLAs. A flat rate COLA, all of your retirees get the same percentage increase. However, a flat rate COLA may not adequately address a retiree's loss of buying power. With a CPI-based COLA, it's based on the retiree's original benefit payment amount and how much inflation has occurred since they started receiving the benefit. So your CPIs are in 10% increments. Your flat rate is determined by the TCDRS board, and it can either be a 1% or a 2% increase. A 1% flat rate increase would be $256,848. A 2% flat would be $513,696. So those are all the scenarios to take into consideration.
So if I've got this down correctly, if we do the same thing this year that we did in 2012, which would be a 50% CPI, then our contribution rate would increase from the 14.37 to 15.15 in order to pay for that.
Okay, just one
Is that
moment.
correct?
Yes, 15.15. Yes, it would. Because that would make our required rate to be 14.92 with our group term life of 0.23%.
Judge, on the 2% overall, it puts us at 14.79, which is kind of a middle between the 14.5 and the 15. And that would allow our retirees to receive something. I don't know how the other members feel.
That would put us at what, Chris?
That would basically split the 14 and a half and the 15. If we go at 2%, TCDRS recommended about every 5 years, and we're at that mark. And so you'd be at 15.15 if we did the 50% CPI, which is over that 15.
And it cost us $500,000.
Oh, yeah. And then on the 2% flat, which would,
It'd be $1 million, I'm sorry.
$1 million.
For the 50% CPI, it would cost us 900 and something thousand, almost $1 million.
Well, if I understand it correctly, I mean, we gotta pay it regardless of which route we go, but if we do the flat, we take that out of contingency. If we do the CPI, we're financing it, basically.
You could do
I believe
either.
that's right.
Yeah, I think you could do either on both, but.
You can do either on both.
Yeah.
Yes, but you're, like I said, you're,
Because
it'd be
didn't the
best
last
to
one?
pay it out, not finance it, because that's just added to your unfunded liability.
And then
And that's
your
what we
rate
did in
stays the same.
2012.
Mhm.
Yes, okay, that's where it's going.
I think this is a lot of information. I think we just take it in consideration for now. Let's think about it, and before we adopt the final budget, when do we have to set this, by December?
December 15th.
Before we adopt the final budget in September, gives us some time to think this over and digest all the information and make a decision. We can make a decision as early as Monday when we set the proposed budget, or we could do it in between the proposed budget and the final budget.
Move we table it today.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Pelt and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. We'll table item number 17. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 18, Commissioner L.W. Cooper Jr., Precinct 1, permission to purchase a 500-gallon tank oil distributor trailer with spray bar to be purchased utilizing a cooperative purchasing program.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall and a second by Commissioner Pelt. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 19, Judge Chris Ingram, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1. Discussion and possible action concerning a contract with a delinquent collection firm for delinquent debts and accounts receivables. Good morning, Judge.
Gentlemen, before you, I have submitted a request to change the vendor for fines and fees collections for JP1. Okay, let me just say that this contract that we're currently under, to my knowledge, is 13 years old. And luckily, since it's budget time, that's always a good time to have this discussion, as competition amongst vendors is generally good for the county's finances. The firm that I'm suggesting that we change to is the firm of Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, Sampson, Fillmore, Jones, Smith, a lot of names. They're, to my knowledge, the largest collection firm in the state that handles this kind of a practice, and with that, you generally have broader resources and greater reach, and I expect to reap those benefits from our office if you guys see fit to allow us to change those vendors. If there are any specific questions that you may have for show and tell, I brought an attorney from Linebarger who can answer any specific questions, but that's what's before you. I feel that a change could be good for our office as far as collecting additional fines and fees. I need your permission to change that vendor.
What about any of the other JPs? Have they, I've talked to Linebarger.
Not to my knowledge, I mean, that's not in my scope to know what their options are or what their conversations are, so I can't answer for any other JP. If they've had that discussion or even those thoughts to change. Again, as far as I'm aware, in some instances, they'll be cheaper on the fees that they charge us. In no instances, again, that I'm aware of, will they cost our office more than what we're currently paying. So we have the hope of having greater impact, getting more money in than what we're collecting now.
Judge Ingram and I spoke on this last week, and he made the presentation to me in reference to this line item. If the court remembers, the last time a situation like this come up, I believe it was just piece 5, wanted to go with a software on fine collections, and I opposed that, and simply because I think all the justices of the peace should use the same. But I'm not in his office every day. I don't know what, I'm not in TJ's office in Charles's. I don't know. I mean, I have to take the recommendation of whatever the JP say. I just think collectively as a whole, we should stay, whomever it might be, with one for all. But if Judge Ingram and the new company that he's suggesting can show us to where it would benefit the county, then I would be, just like I told the judge, I would be open to listening to what y'all have to say. I'm very satisfied from the delinquent tax standpoint with the firm that we have now, and unless I was spoke to from above, I would never vote against going against the firm that we have now. But on the fine collection, Judge Ingram is suggesting this, so I would like to hear what are you going to provide to Hardin County that we don't already have, or what benefit? Why would the judge want this?
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, there's several reasons. The first one I'd like to point out is that in your current contract, the county is being charged 20 to 30% for older collections. So that's money coming out of your pocket. That is because the law only allows a collection fee to be added to the assessed fine after a certain date. Everything before that date, you are being charged out of pocket. With Linebarger, we are large enough to where we can assume a lot of that cost. So you will never pay our law firm a penny out of your pocket ever. Not only that, the court, Judge Ingram, has complete discretion on which cases he gives us, which cases he takes away from us, and he can also waive our fee at any time. It is up to him, full discretion. We want to work with his court in whatever capacity he'd like to use us. And to answer your question, Judge, yes, I have spoken with 2 other of the JPs, and I think the consensus is they'd like to see how well we're able to collect, how much we're able to collect. I'd like to also point out that with Linebarger, we are an extremely sophisticated, high-tech law firm. Our system, our collection efforts for fines and fees is completely automated. We have a mail-out center. We have over 180 employees in San Antonio at a contact center. Those are all Linebarger employees. We have robocalling that calls out to defendants. We were extremely successful. In fact, in Jasper County, our one court has the most delinquent collections out of any of the other 6 JP courts. Although they're not the most gross revenue generating court, they do have the most delinquent delinquent fines and fees collection. We are truly an East Texas law firm as well. Not only are we the largest in the United States, but we hired nearly 100 employees throughout East Texas, including Ms. Keelis here, who lives in Lumberton. Barbara Taylor, she's also client liaison, lives in Gilmer. There's 4 attorneys between Lufkin and Beaumont that's also here. We have a team of people and resources to assist the county. But I did provide you a quick presentation here, and I can just go over a few bullet points.
We don't need to hear it,
Yes, sir.
unless the other court does. I guess you should have been a car salesman, by the way.
Lawyers make more than car salesmen, I
Oh,
believe.
okay. You said that our out-of-pocket expense wouldn't be with your company. Do you know what line item that you're referring to in our budget and how much we paid
No, sir, I do not know how much you pay. I can reference your contract, though. I can see in your contract.
What are you talking about out of pocket from the county?
Okay, so for example, the law that allows the county to enter into a contract with a collection vendor is found in Texas Code of Criminal Procedure 103.0031. And within that code, it allows the county, a collection vendor to add 30% to the collection fee for all cases that have been assigned after June 18th, 2003. Okay, so we're talking about older tickets here. Before that date, the law does not allow a collection vendor to add that fee. So that is passed on to the county. So if a fee's $100, you're gonna pay between 20 and 30%. Now, your current contract stipulates that all those accounts, depending on how you transfer the data to their law firm, will determine the percentage of collections. And as you see, currently with Judge Ingram's court, you have nearly $144,000 still outstanding, most of that being these older fines and fees. The court has not been turning over a whole lot of recent cases. So there's not a large amount for the recent, but we specialize. I mean, we're really good at collecting on the older accounts because of our proprietary technology. We search both local and national databases, and because we are nationwide, we collect all that data from people in regards to our tax collection as well. So we have a far reach of how many people that we're able to find. We also find people that are out of the country. Recently in Jasper County, we were able to resolve a case that was from 1996, City of Wells, 1994. These are all within the last couple of months. So we're really good at getting people in the door. So we also provide a report that details our collection efforts, how many letters are mailed out, how many phone calls are made. And again, all these costs are absorbed by the law firm. The county will never, ever pay us a penny for any of that.
Commissioner Roberts, you had brought something up earlier, would you?
Just real quick, on the collection of the fines and fees, do y'all collect the fines and fees?
Yes, sir. The law firm, what we do is we get the defendants in the door, and we typically point payment to the court. So we assume all of the burden, the phone calls, the communication, but we can collect, we can accept payments, but we have found it more efficient for the courts of this volume to accept the payments themselves. So, but yes, sir, it is 100% Linebarger. When you call the number on the collection letter, you're going to talk to a Linebarger employee. Did that answer your question, Commissioner?
Well, I was just wondering how does it work now?
Now it's pretty much the same. With your current vendor, there's a report that is generated via their software. You're using Hill Country software now. That report is then uploaded to our website, and then our database will collect all that data, and then a skip tracing starts. Skip tracing is the term of art used in this industry for locating defendants. So with our technology, and this is one thing you'll find with others, that we search nonstop. It's all automated, it's database driven, and so it'll search local, national databases, and when it gets to the bottom, it starts all the way over again. So once that report is uploaded to our system, then the search begins automatically. It starts searching for individuals, and once we locate an individual, a letter is automatically generated and mailed to the defendant. Also, if a phone number has been generated, it goes to our robo-calling center, where they will speak to a live operator. You'll never hear an automated voice with Linebarger. It's always going to be a live Linebarger employee. We have a call center in San Antonio. That's just one of our many call centers, our contact centers as we call them, but also our network operations centers in San Antonio. We love to give tours to people to show you how sophisticated our operations are. There's a lot of security getting in, but I give tours to other individuals. I've given probably about 7. Does that answer your question as far as
the reason I was asking what I'm asking is if y'all make a, contact, once y'all make the contact, then you're done, right?
Well, it depends on if they make full payment, the cases are resolved, absolutely.
But
the way-
they're having to actually come in and make the payment. Y'all are directing them to come to us and make the payment.
Absolutely, but we
Okay.
can accept payments if Judge Ingram's court at any time would like us to. For our larger volume clients, such as the Houston Toll Road Authority, we accept payments. And we can at any time, however Judge Ingram needs to utilize our services, we can. We have just found it, for accounting purposes, much more efficient for courts of this smaller volume to be able to handle their own money. That way, you're not waiting for us. If someone has a warrant and they call in and make a credit card payment, there's a couple days hold time on that credit card payment. Especially if it's on a Friday, it might not be till Monday that it's cleared up. And so this way, it's cleared up automatically. But as you were asking, a letter is generated once we notify somebody, and then 30 days later, if that person has not paid, a second letter is then generated and sent out. We also have a fall letter that goes out every single year as well to all the defendants that we have located and we have not resolved those accounts. We also have we have a warrant roundup program as well that's extremely effective. But we have over 800 Texas court clients currently and over 2,200 nationwide. Does that answer your question?
Well, I was just wondering, in our current deal, whenever they get someone are they collecting the fine, or are they collecting it? Or
I couldn't speak. I'm not
That
sure.
should be directed to Chris.
is that how it works, Chris?
I'm sorry?
When you have a delinquent fine that's not being paid, who collects that money for you?
I think my understanding is it kind of depends on the defendant. It's real similar to the situation that was just described. I know, a lot of times we'll get accounting from, MVVA saying, hey, we collected X and now you owe us X. So that would tell me that they do collect part of that money as well. But I'm sure that some of their letters motivate people, and some of their resources motivate people to call as well. It's not a one-way street there. I think the defendant kind of has a lot of options on how they would want to dispose of that thing.
Judge Hall would like to be recognized.
In my court, I don't collect any money. MVVA collects it all. The 20% that he's talking about is 20% that's added to that fine. County don't pay any money.
So I couldn't find that on a line item then.
They collect that money, they send it to my court, Kathy calculates it, turns it into the office, and they pay MVVA that 20% that's been added on top of that fine. The county's not paying any money.
Okay.
And Chris, who are you with? Actually, the defendant's are with money.
MVBA. They're all with MVBA except for JP5.
That's right. Okay.
I would like to point out that if you do have Linebarger collect money, we charge 0 finance fees on our credit card charges. The firm you're currently using charges the defendants an extra percentage for each and every credit card charge convenience fee that they utilize. So there's a couple reasons why Linebarger does not charge those convenient fees, but that's something that we will do at zero cost, at no cost to the defendant. So actually, if someone is paying on a fee, they pay the 30%, they pay a credit card charge, they're actually paying the other firm even more money out of pocket. So this would essentially save the defendant's money as well, as long as they pay, if we do collect money for you. But again, we find it a lot more efficient accounting practices for our clients to take payments themselves when it's a smaller volume.
Mr. Guest, you said it's 144,000 currently delinquent?
Yes, sir.
That's
That's
just
just in
JP1.
Chris's court?
JP1.
Yes, sir.
That is just in Judge Ingram's court. Yes, sir.
And all of our courts now are with MBVA.
No, sir. You do have Judge Minter, Judge Minton, who is with Net Data, and I have spoken with her. you know, she is satisfied with her collections. She had mentioned that they have an increase in collections since they did switch to NetData. NetData has their own collection vendor called GHS. And GHS is, you know, they're different than your current law firm that works in the other 5 JPs. But she did mention that there has been definitely an uptick in collections since they switched to the GHS collection firm vendor. They're not a law firm, they're just a collection vendor.
When they switched, or when one switches, does that come through the court?
Yes, sir, so, yes, sir.
I'm asking a JP.
Yes, sir.
What's your question?
The question was, and you haven't switched, have you?
No, we need your permission.
Okay, but the one that has switched to NetData or whatever, did that come through the court?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I also want to mention, Commissioner, that you're not canceling your contract with the other law firm. What the Commissioners Court today is hiring Linebarger as a county collection vendor, but Judge Ingram's court is the only court that has stated that they're going to use our services. The other courts after today could use our services if they so choose, because we will be in contract with the county. But that would have to be each individual JP's decision at that point.
Well, I guess my question would be, if you're dealing with county funds, which we are, is this something that needs to go through the RFP process, or the court just makes a selection?
The court just makes a selection. The code is very clear that a commissioner's court can enter into a contract with the collection vendor. I have been through about 5 commissioner courts, but over probably 17 different cities in the last 2 years, and I have not gone through one RFP process for a fines and fees contract.
So Judge Ingram, will it work like it is currently now? You're gonna increase the fine to offset their fees as well? So it won't cost the county anything? Your defendants will pay for their services as well, like it is currently?
Yeah, there wouldn't be an increase in the fine per se.
Okay.
As far as the situation, as far as the defendant is concerned, they wouldn't see a noticeable difference.
Okay.
As far as how the process goes, but there's not an added fee to the county
Okay.
as well.
But that 30% he talked about, the defendant pays that.
Correct.
So on a $100 ticket, they're gonna pay 130. County gets 100, he gets 30.
Yeah, similar to the situation.
Yes, Judge Hall?
Let me just say one other thing off quick.
Yes, sir.
My court is completely satisfied with our collections that we have now. We don't have any problem with them. Everything runs very smoothly. So just for whatever it's worth, I guess I'm old school. I believe in if it's not broke, don't fix it, and ours is not broke. I'm not interested at all in changing.
Judge,
Thank you, Judge.
how much outstanding do you have, do you know?
Kathy can tell you probably, because what I like about MVBA more than anything else, they're constantly personally walking in that office and updating everything from Kathy, keeping her on top of everything, and bringing us spreadsheets with what's going on, what they're doing, what they've done in the past. There's somebody in there constantly. You don't have to call them. They come by on a regular basis to make sure everything's going well.
For me, on an administrative standpoint, I am interested in the amount overall of fines and fees that the judiciary has imposed that is not being collected. I am interested in that because it became part of the punishment of that person if they were to pay the county a fine, because as we see, everything's going up. We're fixing to start paying the DPS crime lab. That's money coming out of our budget. And if there's 144,000 just sitting there and it's not being collected, if we collected $15,000, that would help the sheriff's budget offset the DPS charges that we are going to incur. So for me, it's not a personal issue. It is, are we getting the best bang for our buck? Or is it that they don't want to mess with the older cases because they're older cases? In other words, is it out of sight, out of mind? We're not getting any money, therefore, we're not looking to collect any money. And as an administrator, being elected by the people, they want their tax rate low. And they want, if someone's imposed a fine, they want that person, if it's John Doe, to pay that fine so that Miss Smith on Swinney Road doesn't have to pay this extra DPS charge. And so as an administrator, I am open to seeing if we can do better.
Angela, do we get a report here from the JPs as to how much is outstanding, or from someone as to how much that's
No, sir.
outstanding?
No, sir.
Yes, sir, I get a quarterly report.
Oh, you get a report?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Well, then you have a feel as to whether it's going up, how much it is. Do you have off the top of your head in the 6 JPs how much outstanding we have?
No, sir, but I can give you a copy of that report when we finish. It's quite a bit. I would say, just a wild guess would probably be in the $500,000 or more range.
How, the Houston Toll Road's a big client for y'all, I suppose. How much outstanding fines do they currently have off the top of your head?
I can tell you that my wife paid them about $1,000 last month, so it's a lot.
What I'm saying is, you're not gonna, regardless of who it is or what firm it is, you're not gonna collect probably over 40% of the outstanding fines on anybody.
My goal is to collect 100%, and this is a information technology driven industry. It's whoever has the best information technology is going to have the most collections. As an attorney, I spend most of my time in delinquent tax collection. I have not once been in a lawsuit over fines and fees. I've had a couple angry camera defendants call me, but that's about the extent of it. So this really is about finding individuals. It's skip tracing. We have a $25 million annual budget. And I also want to point out that you're getting 3 individuals, full-time individuals. Myself as an attorney, I'm available to my clients at all times. Different from a car salesman, I take my clients, it's very personal for me. My clients are like family. Barbara Taylor is a client liaison who visits on a quarterly basis. And then there's also an account manager out of San Antonio. So Judge Ingram and Holly, his court clerk, are going to have 3 individuals, their cell phone numbers that she can contact at any time. This isn't, thank you for the contract, see you next year when the contract is up again. The contract I usually request is 3 years. I understand this is a little bit different, so I've requested 1-year contract. And at any time, if you are disappointed with our performance, you can switch back to other law firm. You will still be in contract with them. There is zero liability here for the county. There's only an uptick here as far as collections are concerned. And I'm excited to see how well we do. The city of Wells, we took over from the other law firm last year. Within a 6-month time frame, we've already doubled the amount of collections they had the whole year prior. So this is something that I like to kind of see. There's a little bit of healthy competition. I am friends with the other law firm, Keith. He's a great guy, good attorney, very smart guy. But I do have to say that when it comes to business, Linebarger definitely has the most resources.
You said your goal is to collect 100%, but what is your collection rate?
It varies, Commissioner. So it really depends a lot on the software that you use. Currently using Hill Country software, and also the court clerk. How much data?
That's not the question I'm asking you. I'm asking you on the accounts that you presently have, across Texas, across the United States, what is the collection percentage of the delinquent?
I can show you. I have clients with over 50% resolution rate. Currently, your resolution rate here for Judge Ingram's court is in the 30%. So it's 37% cases resolved. That's not just dollars collected. Those are cases resolved as well. I have clients that are over 50% that I can show you collection stories.
That's probably about the norm, and a lot of that is not collected. A lot of that is dismissed or whatever, but that overall, that 30% is probably about the norm. And I would say your firm, if y'all got the contract, would come in and make a showing, just to make a showing, and probably get that up close to 50. But what I'm saying is, regardless if it's you or MVBA or Judge Ingram's court or Judge Burr's court, probably 30% is going to be about your norm regardless. Would you agree?
I think I think it varies. There's two, I can't generalize that, Commissioner. What I can tell you that is you're not gonna pay our law firm a penny ever, ever. So if we can just even increase the collection resolution by 5 or 10%, that's a win for the county.
Well, thank you for, unless somebody else has questions, thank you for your, presentation.
I just have a remark, if you buy an easy tag for your wife, it'll save you some money.
I did, yes, sir. I drove her up to
Do that?
yes, sir. All right, thank you, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Treadway, would you like to speak on behalf of MVBA?
Just a couple of things.
Okay, come on up. Good morning.
Keith Treadway, you all know me. My focus is much more in tax collections versus in fines and fees. So bear with me in this. Unfortunately, we learned about this late Friday. And so our person who focuses on that, Randall Rice, he was already scheduled for Commissioner's Court in Johnson County today, and so he could not be here. So I do apologize for that. Just a few things to answer some of your questions as far as where we're actually at. I had them pull the numbers this morning for where we're at. There is currently, that has been turned over to us, 139,000. That is to us. The resolution rate is 41.43%. That is both the amount that we collect and the amount that is resolved and pulled back to the JP's court. And so 19.37% of that is basically ones that were resolved by the court. There's a little over 21% of that we have actually collected on.
Is that overall, Keith, or just JP one?
That is just JP one. I did not pull, and for what it's worth, I'm sorry, but I didn't pull the numbers for the other JP, so I can't answer your questions that you had on that. But if you would like me to get that to you, I can get that to you very quickly. As far as some of the things that he was talking about as far as what we're charging as far on the previous things that are prior to 2003, we only have 499 outstanding cases at the moment. And so in the past 3 years, we've had 26 cases up to this point in the year turned over to us. Last year, it was 24 for the entire fiscal year, and there was 26 for the entire fiscal year of 2015. Okay, we actually started collecting for JP1 on May 6th of 2011. And so we started collecting for them at a later date than when the contract began. I do not know what was going on with JP1 prior to that date. I simply do not know. What I do know is that at that date, we got a lot of old stuff turned over to us. And so while their skip tracing is very good, I will not deny that. We do have very similar skip tracing technology. Same thing as far as the robocalls, et cetera, et cetera. As he said, we do collect the money for them if they choose to. The one thing that might make it easier in JP1 that we do not currently do is we do not collect partial payments. And so as a result, at least what we're at the moment, we are only collecting if someone can pay it in full. That's the instructions that we have, at least that's my understanding. That would allow us to do a little bit better as far as that goes. But for the past 3 years, the amount that has been turned over to us, to this fiscal, for the moment moment, we're looking at, it is $8,500 has been turned over to us this year. The previous 2 years, it was just over $7,600 for the entire year. The vast majority of that is old. However, having said that, while we have, in 2015, while there were only 26 cases that were turned over to us, we did collect on 52 of them. We are still working the old ones. For 2016, 24 and 25. For this year, 26 have been turned over to us. We've collected on 34 cases to this point this year. So making the argument that we're not working on the old stuff just isn't true. But the reality is that it's no different than a delinquent tax. The older it gets, the harder it is to collect. It's harder to find people. It's harder to do that. That's just reality. And so, but my only request today would be that before you do make a decision, I really would like Randall Rice to be able to come and speak to you and speak in more specifically as to what he does, because he is the one that actually does the work. That if you were making a decision on tax collections, quite frankly, I would like me to speak, not somebody else. And so with us only learning about that Friday, I would prefer if you would just give a chance for Randall to come and speak to you. But that's all I have.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Any questions for Mr. Treadway? Thank you very much.
I don't have any questions, I just have a comment.
Sure.
This is all kind of confusing, and it's hard to digest in one item on a court deal. I'd like to see some more information on, he mentioned $8,500 turned over to them. I mean, $8,500 in delinquent. That's not a big figure. I'd like to see what our history is, and what we do turn over and what is collected. And maybe, you say you get a report every quarter. I'd like to see some more information on this, and also, I'd like to see this, guy Keith's talking about come in and give us a presentation.
I think, Judge, Commissioner Kirkendall had a good, point a while ago about where these fines, if they were collected, could go to offset some of this stuff we have. That's a great point, and you said it's kind of confusing, but what it boils down to, that 8,500 or whatever is minute compared to the big picture. They're wanting to get their foot in the door so they can try to, go against MVBA for our delinquent taxes is what it's boiling down to. I would respect my judge's, request, if that's what he wants to do, and this court decided to do that after we heard from everybody. I would not oppose that, Judge Ingram, and I've already told you that, but I am very satisfied with the firm we have, and like Judge Hall said, I don't like change, so whatever this court decides to do, I'll go along with, but I like Commissioner Pelt would like to hear from the person that, Keith had suggested also.
And I agree with that. I also would state, just my point on this, for the record, is if we ever look to change from one firm to another for a group of, collections, say a group of courts, or certainly if we're going to change, collections for taxes, I would certainly like to, even though it's not required, would, prefer that we go out for an RFP before we do something like that. However, we just have one JP requesting to make this change. I would like to, honor his request. I don't think we're ready to make the decision today, but one thing I'll ask you, Judge, have you already presented this contract to the county attorney for her review and approval?
No, sir.
So I'll be glad to do that.
It's your office.
I will be glad to do that. I'll submit that to her so she can be reviewing that over the next couple of weeks. And perhaps at our next regular meeting, we could have Mr. Rice
Yes.
come, and if y'all don't mind coming back if you'd like to, in case you have anything else you'd like to add, or any questions that come up that we might need to ask you. We'll put that item on, we'll table this item to the next agenda upon Commissioner Pelt's motion.
Move we table.
Have a motion by Commissioner Pelt and a second by Commissioner Cooper. Is there any other discussion?
I'd just like to say, we represent people in the community to get the most out of the delinquent that we can. And as a government, it's not our business to pick winners and losers. It's our job to pick the best for our citizens that we represent. And that's all I've got to say.
Thank you very much. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. This item's tabled till the August 14th regular meeting. Item number 20, Misty Sims, Purchasing Agent, permission to solicit proposals for judicial software and court case management system.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Pelt. Any discussion? Excuse me, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 21, Misty Sims, discussion and possible action to accept a certificate of insurance provided by Payne's Record Service Incorporated relating to towing services pursuant to the county's junk vehicle abatement procedures.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Pelt and a second by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion?
Does it meet all the eligibility requirements that are needed?
It meets the state law. Our bid package requested that they provide workers' comp insurance, and Payne's does not have that. However, I'm informed by Misty that the other bidder also did not include workers' comp insurance on their proposal.
But we are required by the state to have it?
We are not required by the state to have this meets the state requirements.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Let me add too that Ms. Walton did review this certificate of insurance and it meets her approval as well. Anything further? A motion by Commissioner Pelt and a second by Commissioner Cooper. Any discussion? We're adjourned.
Ah, boy, maybe y'all are